Yo, what's good, guys? Lewis here. Bit of a different video today, but I want you guys to stay as tuned as possible because I'm going to give you the exact strategy in which I've went through to get lean, jacked, handsome, build my business, travel the world, and get my purpose back on track. Guys, it wasn't only a few years ago. I was a weed smoking degenerate, broke ass, always going in and out of wins and losses, and I quite frankly hated my life. And now I'm living my best life, my dream life, a life that I never thought possible. And I want to take you through the exact process. So let's hop in. Guys, brothers, hope we're good. Hope we're having a phenomenal day today. So you made it through the introduction. You're in for a treat today. There's going to be some raw sauce for you. I want to give you the exact mindset required to become someone that you would actually admire, someone that you can look at and say, you know what, I'd look up to him. I'd listen to him. Not some pathetic slouch of a entrepreneur, business owner, employee, or man that has muffin top rolling over his shorts, brain fog, gut stress, lacking clarity, mission, purpose. Even though the bank balance is looking nice, you lack that depth, that fulfillment, that deeper sense of purpose in your chest that you know you want. And that was me for a long time. Things were looking good from the external, but internally I was destroyed. So I want to actually give you the frameworks and the mindset required to become someone in which you would be truly proud of being, the guy that your younger version self would look up to. And I want to kick things off with a brief introduction because there's a version of every single man that terrifies his own comfort. The one who's built, grounded, sharp, not for show, but for self-respect. The version of you that just leads from the front with clarity, purpose, over panic and chaos. So this is going to be a story of a man, aka me, who took everything that once controlled him and made it his weapon. All of my pain, all of my stress, all of my anxieties, all of my setbacks have now become my biggest purpose, my biggest lever to pull. Because without all of the experiences in which I've been through, I would not be who I am today. I would not have the wisdom, the stories, the lessons, or the coachability. And I would not be where I want to be. Because everything in which has happened in the past has shaped me to become the man I now am today. And looking at me, I'm quite happy with how things are going. I've got the business, I've got the misses, I've got the travel, I've got the location, time, energy, financial freedom I've always wanted. And I'm only 27 years old. I would say I'm quote unquote killing it to some extent. So with that being said, I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always this tall, dark and handsome chap. I've only just recently got a tan. I've been living in Bali for a year and being a pasty white Scottish guy from the UK, I never thought to get a tan, but now I've got one, but I digress. For a long, long time, I was very productive. Productivity has always been a high value of mine, but I felt very empty. I was successful but extremely scattered. I was making good money, but I was riddled with vices. I was pulled from pillar to post, and I didn't really like the way my life was going. On paper, the numbers were good, but my life was just noisy mentally. It was scattered all over the place, and I felt like I wasn't really leading myself the way I would lead my clients. And deep down I knew it couldn't go that way for any longer. There was even a period of time where I was high every single day for probably a couple of years straight, all to the point that I actually fell asleep at the wheel driving my car and nearly killed myself and put other people at risk. I didn't have a photo to share on this slideshow, but in previous videos you might have seen that if you're tuned into the channel. And I'm speaking to you, brother, right now. You might not be in as bad a spot I was, using and abusing drugs, hiding from the reality of the life you should be living, always cutting corners, always, achieving success to some extent, then self-sabotaging and selling yourself short. Like, that was me in a nutshell. Always winning only to lose, always getting lean only to get fat, always making the big business move only to burn it all down the next day. The thing was, I was working purely from validation rather than vision. I kind of knew what I wanted, but I wasn't 110% clear, and I cared way too much about what other people thought of me. And I will be honest with you guys, I built results on fumes. I literally was living off Monster energy juice, bagels and ham, and cannabis, nicotine, for years. And I realized, right, if I was truly going to become someone that builds an empire, sets myself free frees my missus, my family, provides, leads, nurtures, creates a platform for guys to win. I couldn't build that being a broken operator. I'll go back a slide there, jumped ahead of the gun. So I stripped everything back. I pretty much burned my business to the ground. I burnt myself to the ground off the back of that car accident because I just couldn't continue going the way I was. It was a big wake-up call. I call it a rude awakening. When, if you are religious to any point and you know, operate from above, then you understand that, you know, God's plan is always the right plan for you. So I had a big calling that I knew I needed to change, so I did change. And I didn't want to do it with hacks or trends or chasing dopamine like I was before. I just needed truth. I needed routines, I needed structure. And that is where I actually built the Peak Performance Project, which is my current business now. And every single morning, from embodying what the Peak Performance Project is to me, I became someone that is relentless, that is disciplined, that is in shape year round, that has a high performance business, relationship, life, incredible network, high performance guys around me, solid systems, teams, making good money. None of this would have happened unless I had been through what I'd been through. And you'll see me every single day in my Instagram stories if you do follow me. I will drop some wisdom and some AM push-ups at a random time, probably between 4 AM and 5 AM. And I don't do this for discipline. I do this for me. I like to switch my mind on before the world runs me. I like to get ahead of the curve. And this is part of my TD5 system, something we install to all of our individual VIP and CEO clients' lives, which is a 5-step habit system, which 10x's your productivity, your focus, your physique. So there will be a link below in the description. You can grab that if you want. But I always like to optimize for peace. Peace of mind is the highest goal you can set in life, hands down. And when the world's asleep, you're at peace. You're ahead of the curve. And that's where the real work gets down, right? That's where you become the version of yourself that you've been missing. Because in those quiet hours when there's no distraction, that is when you can find your purpose, your meaning, and really take some time for yourself to align yourself, get clear on your mission and vision for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, and do something that not everyone is willing to do. And there's something about those early hours where you actually have that peace of mind, that freedom, where you can really sit with your thoughts and decide what kind of day you're going to build, guys. And I think early wake-up times are absolutely essential. When it comes to training, I train with a nice varied approach, like a hybrid bodybuilding running guy. Do you know what? I just do what fitness really should be. Build a strong, lean, sharp physique. Run, do your cardio, eat a balanced diet. It's actually very, very simple what I do and what I preach. And this is a physique I operate with year round. Mostly training 3 or 4 days a week. It's a great feeling knowing that what you're going to see later on in this slideshow of where I started and where I'm at now, you'll be like, no way, this guy must be in gear, this guy must live in the gym, this guy must only eat chicken and broccoli. It's not the case. Like for me, the gym isn't even my therapy like all those other chump bodybuilders talk about, like gym is therapy. It's not really the case for me. It's about alignment. It's about building the man behind the business and seeking discomfort, knowing that that's feedback, and it's never punishment. I don't hate my body. I actually love my body. I love that I have limbs. I've got lungs. I've got a heart. I've got a head. I can move freely. I've got some niggles and knots and some aches and pains, bit of a bad knee and bad shoulder and stuff, but I love pushing my physical ability. I love building my body to be sharper and stronger because it dials in my mind. And I really do believe if you have a soft body, you're going to have a soft business, and your decisions will be led astray far too easy. And that's where a lot of guys lose. They've got this great external life, the cars, the watches, the business, but they confuse fitness with vanity. They don't actually like themselves. They think, oh, it's going to take too much time, or I don't want to be too lean, or I don't want to be too big. They see these random phrases or statements which don't actually back up what is relevant to them in their own life. And I don't do what I do to look good for others. I do this because business is a blood sport, and I like leading from the front, and the stamina, the fitness, the strength in which I've now garnered allows me to perform at the highest level in every domain. And if you want to compete in life, you better be fit enough to run the race. That is a standard I believe in. And the world wakes up, right, every single day. And for me, The morning is the main thing. Win the morning, win the day, win the day, win the week, win the week, win the year, so on and so forth. Every single morning I wake up, I do not check my phone, right? I have a nice, clear, deep work block, make sure my systems are aligned. I lock in my clarity calls with clients for the day. I make sure my business isn't a hustle. It's more of an extension of my discipline. Like, my body is my business is my body. Both of them go hand in hand, and you don't have to be a PT or coach. You can be an entrepreneur, an exec, you might work a busy job, whatever it might be, but most men try to build their lives on chaos. They think doing more is better. I'm actually the opposite. I think doing less is better. Doing less done better is more at the highest level. And I build on mine consistently. You know, you can't scale through pain, you can't scale through noise. If your system's broken, if your body is broken with your business, your relationships, you're always going to try and make a quick exit. You're never going to stick to it. And you can only scale when things are in peace and flow and have solid structure. And that's why, more than anything else, guys, you need to optimize for the simplest, most friction-free system possible to scale everything in your life simultaneously across the board. Because you don't just want high performance in one or two areas, you want it in every single aspect. And a rising tide will essentially lift all ships. And when you are the guy that is winning, you're feeling good, you're clear, you're sharp, solid headspace, really good quality standards in every single aspect, you will notice a massive ripple effect every single day on how you operate. The respect, the status, the attention in which you will garner from that will lead to massive success in everything you try to. For midday, for me, it's lunchtime for many, but it's more time for me to recalibrate. I always break my day up, I should say, with walking. Your steps are absolutely essential. So many guys sleep on them, and if I was to look at your weekly average steps, you're probably hitting about 4 or 5k a day, which quite frankly my gran does more and she's in a wheelchair. You want to move. If you've got legs, move. Energy and motion is emotion, right? Energy and motion is emotion, right? That is how you get your emotions high frequency. When you're moving, you're clearing your mind, you're pumping blood, you're digesting food, you're assimilating the macros in which you're taking in, and that's where the ideas come in, guys, right? You want to be doing this without distraction. Yeah, listen to a podcast or an audiobook from time to time, but try take time for peace, for silence, for headspace time. Because guys are always trying to like clusterfuck themselves with all sorts of inputs, whether that be, let's say, for example, more podcasts, more self-development porn, more audio this, audio that. It's not an information thing, which is the issue right now, it's implementation. And for me, I'm just chasing better. I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly who I need to be. I just need to do it at the highest level now. And you might lack the clarity on who you need to be, what you need to do, how you need to get there, hence why you struggle to compound all of the benefits of living the life you truly want. And clarity, guys, once you build that, that's where the confidence comes from. And it won't fade, it's just going to fortify over time because you are now showing up as the man you want to be. Every single day, guys, right? You have to check in with your mission. Every single day I check in with it and it looks like this. I'm just going to pull my journal up and I write a page every single morning. I don't care about metrics, right? The thing is, in business, numbers are important. 100% numbers are important. Sets and reps are important. Macronutrients are important. But see, if you are not the man that can manage the metrics, the macros, the training, the sets, the reps, all of this stuff, you're never going to pull it off. So I always check in with me, my mission, my vision, who I need to be, my identity, because that's what's going to keep me dangerous. When you're dangerous, high energy focus, you will always pull off the hardest task no matter what. And it always grounds me and reminds me why I started this, right? And why I'm never going to stop, why I'm relentless every single day. Like, I was out for breakfast the other day with 2 of my other mates and one of my clients, and one of my mates was like, Lucius never stops, he's always just go. But like, not in a busy way, but just he's always aligned, he's always on point, he's always nailing what he needs to nail. Because my mission, right, it's not just fitness. Fitness is a part of the bigger mission, but mastery, self-mastery, because there's 4 M's in life, guys. Money, mobility, mastery, and mating. That's the 4 M's which men are motivated by. For me, mastery is the biggest motivator. Money, yeah, it's great to have. Mating, yeah, it's great to have. You know, having some 10 out of 10 checks, that's part of the process. Mobility, yeah, travel, I've got that. But mastery, becoming the very best version of me, mastering my art, my craft, and really being a leader of the space. That is what I want more than anything else. And that's why I'm here to serve every single day. Because you don't need another coach, right? Another plan, another dopamine hit, another discipline challenge. It's like you need structure that builds freedom, simplicity. As I said before, a frictionless system. That is what the peak performance is all about. That's why we operate in the way we operate, because it yields results at the fastest pace possible in a way that many other coaches would never even consider of doing. In the evening, this is where I tend to wind down, guys. I have dinner with my partner every single night, lovely Amy. I'm getting married to her next year. We've been together for 8 years now. It's all about presence, though. So many entrepreneurs, business owners, busy guys is essential. Like, they're always getting to the end of the day completely butt-fucked by life. They're tired, scatty, they can't sit and be present with their partner. And then over time, they find themselves getting further and further away from the woman that they love the most, and then they break up or they get divorced, and it costs them thousands and thousands through a collapsed marriage, a collapsed relationship. So much time, energy, and money wasted because they couldn't show up as the man they needed to be for the things that truly matter. And you might think doing more is only going to get the relationship better down the line when you finally get to this next point, but it's not the case. You got to live with the wish fulfilled now and be him. Be him today. Because that masculine energy without depth is just noise. It's always just going to be a mask that you're wearing. And you'll never build the body or the business you want if you can't hold presence with the people that you're loving the most, the people you're doing it for. Like, I pretty much do everything for her, for my family, to give back. And that's why everything has to be full spectrum across the board. Your physique, your purpose, your productivity, your performance. Alignment is not balance, it's controlling every single aspect and area. And that's where you need to be operating from, guys. I'm telling you this. Before bed is very simple, right? This is where you're going to take some time to write down 3 simple things. And this is something I always do. You've got your on-ramp for the day, right? Your AM alignment, your process. You calibrate yourself to have a killer day. But then your wind down process to rejuvenate, unwind, relax the mind. This is essential, right? Because your life is like a bookcase. All the books in between the bookcase will fall over if the shelf's not in check. So the front and back end of the day is absolutely crucial. So you got to get clear on one thing you're proud of, one thing you could have done better, and one thing you're never going to tolerate again. Standards in business, standards in body, standards in life are non-negotiable. My standards are extremely high, and every day that I close each and every single chapter, it's not with dopamine, scrolling my phone, numbing myself, it's with direction, knowing what the next best action step has to be. Because just like, we know this, guys, tomorrow doesn't start when you wake up, it starts the night before, and that is a really solid productivity system. When you can just plan tomorrow, today. That's just going to clear your mind and get you so dialed in and driven for what's to come. And that way you're going to go to sleep like a fucking man who knows what he's about. That's what gets you up early, because you know where you're going. You're not waking up scattered looking for your socks in the morning. You've got everything laid out the night before. Your supplementation, your electrolytes are set, your gym clothes are in the morning, your gym bag prepped and packed, your work clothes sorted, your meal prep. Everything's winning. You're just organised, you're just an absolute unit. You're just moving through life at pace. And we know ourselves, right? This was me when I got engaged. I was hitting 6 figures for the first time, multiple 6 figures. This is me now, continuing to still hit multiple 6 figures. A couple of years later, just a completely different specimen and beast. Jacked, hard, fit, athletic, clear-headed, weaponized in every single aspect. This was me, numbed, soft, dumb, lethargic, hated how I looked, hated how I felt. Same guy, different man, right? And motivation was never the thing I needed, right? I just needed to be rebuilt, okay? And I saw this in myself. I was riddled with chaos, and now I've got clarity. I was all burnt out and fatigued, now I've got purpose. Because the world doesn't need more fit guys, right? It needs more men who fit their mission, men who are aligned, right? Men who are done operating below the potential they know they're here to fucking be, to serve. You gotta rebuild the body, reset the standard, and reclaim your fucking edge. And this is what the Peak Performance Project is all about. Mastering the core 4, your physique, your purpose, your productivity and performance, and becoming someone who is undeniable in every single aspect. Living true to the North Star mission and vision, and deciding you're done playing it small. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little presentation. If you do want to work with us one-to-one, there's going to be a link below in the description. I'm sure there's plenty of value and a little bit of an insight to me in my life, some of my backstory, some of my message. I want to help as many guys as possible before I'm gone, and I'll work at speed. If you want to take things to the next level, hit that link. We can chat on this phone and see if you're a good fit. We'll just go on WhatsApp and just go back and forth a little. If it's for you, it's for you. If not, no stress. I'll give you some information to make sure it's a valuable conversation we have anyway. But I'll see you in the next one. Much love. See you soon.